Welcome to Violin Adventures number 237. Well, we started out the week normal, just working on instruments and repairs, and then something happened. So this episode is mostly in chronological order. You'll have to watch to find out. Okay, we have here a bow that was sent to get repaired. And the owner says it comes as a gift from a Jewish man from Russia. Okay, it looks fine. It has been straightened over the years, and so there's just a little bit of wiggle in there, but it looks like, well, let's see what it does when we tighten it. Oh, I see. So we go to the left and to the right and to the left again. These are all cleaned and polished. Looks like Noah's flood. Back to our new violin. So I've been working on the scroll, I was looking it over because I'm getting ready to drill the holes on the side, and I thought, no, it needs some more work. And so I've been kind of reshaping it. Well, this week we got hit with the worst flooding we've ever had since we moved here. But it turned out not to be so bad, which we're really grateful for. In the middle of the night, I came down the stairs and took a couple pictures of the water coming into the shop. It only came in about 3 inches, which I'm really grateful about because it was so high outside. Well, this is the day after the flood. We were flooded more than we've ever flooded since we moved here, but the water was up to the top rung of that fence over there. So we were under at least 4 feet of water. So I'm going to go see what it looks like out there. Well, we always get balls float down after the flood. Still beautiful, just wet. Well, here's the creek, still quite full, but you can see how on the other bank how high the water went. And the grass is all washed over. It's so wet up here. The water is really big. So this tree got pushed over. You can see how high that debris came. That tree is about as tall as I am, so about 5 feet of water down here. So we got flooded, the water came in, and these sandbags weren't tall enough. You can see here where the water went up at least a foot in this area. So the water has subsided, but you can see how dirty the floor is. A lot of mud. So we're going to figure out what to do. Probably for the next week we'll be mopping and cleaning. Okay, it's after the flood, and I just had this almost ready to go. I made a couple more cuts, and now the dimensions are all working. So we have the height of the fingerboard. We also want it centered. We have the height here and the dimension here, and also the tip of the fingerboard to the E side. So there's at least 5 dimensions that have to all work together, and I just got that. So we're going to glue this up, and then I'll need to concentrate on cleaning up this mess. Okay, that looks good. So I'm going to let this dry and we're going to get busy probably vacuuming up the water next. Time for a story. All right, we're reading in Violins and Violinists by Franz Varga, and we're taking up, we just finished reading about Ludwig Spohr, and now we're going to read about his pupils. Among Spohr's many pupils, Ferdinand David, who became leader of the orchestra in Leipzig, was the most prominent. And Ferdinand David was a close friend of Mendelssohn, who wrote some of his violin compositions for him. It says here, Ferdinand David was by no means a genius. He is said to have caused nervous breakdowns to conductors of the orchestra by his overbearing attitude. The next one is August Wilhelmi, born in 1845, became world famous. His mother was a pupil of Chopin and a very good pianist. She was also a fine singer, having studied under the Paris Conservatory. Wilhelmi was found to be gifted in violin playing at an early age. Conrad Fischer taught him for several years and allowed him to appear publicly as a violinist when still a boy. Wilhelmi's father was a public prosecutor and was loath to see his son enter such an unstable profession. When, however, the boy played to Liszt one day and the great man was enthusiastic, his father changed his mind and sent August to the Leipzig Conservatory, where he also studied harmony and composition under Joachim Roth. 3 years later, he played his first solo. Soon he was ranked as the best contemporary German violinist. He was a passionate supporter of Richard Wagner and as a result was invited to lead the strings at the Opera House. He succeeded in building them up into a single uniform body within the orchestra. And Wagner was so delighted with his work that he embraced and kissed him in public. His technique was brilliant, and he was one of the few violinists who essayed Paganini's compositions. He arranged 6 of the less difficult caprices in the form of an Italian suite and was enthusiastically applauded whenever he played them. Even Paganini might have been satisfied with his performance. He played runs in 8ths and double stop passages with the greatest of ease and had a wonderful bow technique. It was said that he could produce the most powerful tone that had ever been heard. When he played Bach's aria, it sounded almost like a cello, but he could also play it with the deepest feeling. He was, however, notorious for his violent temper. He was a bear of a man, and his superfluous energy was often exhibited in his playing, although his style always remained perfect and his conception of his art set a high standard. He was also rather tender-hearted and did much to help poor music students. His quick wit was in striking contrast with his uncouth appearance, and he was always ready to exercise it. Once he played in Sweden. The concert hall was nearly empty, yet when he departed, the whole town gathered at the station to wave him goodbye. Wilhelmi thanked the crowd politely and remarked, "I am very touched. The next time I come, I shall give my concert in the railway station." In 1882, he ceased touring and founded a training school for violinists on the Rhine. It was, however, a failure. In Berlin, where art was regarded as a more cosmopolitan matter, his efforts gained little appreciation, a disregard which later on handicapped another fine violinist, Willy Burmeister, in much the same way. So Wilhelmi moved to Dresden and finally to London, where he was at once offered a chair at the famous Guildhall School. Here he published in 10 parts his excellent manual, A Modern Violin School. Wilhelmi died in London of heart failure in 1908, mourned by many admirers. Near the end of this book, there's a lot of names that it goes through that are less well known, so I'll be looking for another book that might be interesting to read. The Hebrew Minute. Ach Tov v'chesed Yerdefuni kol yemei hai Vashavti bebeit Hashem laorek yamim. Surely goodness and faithfulness or kindness shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of Hashem forever. If you know where this is found, please leave it in the comments below. Just a little update. We're working on getting a good barrier across our double doors here. So that should really help with the water. We're also looking into some other ideas. So it's all going to work out. I'm going to spend next week cleaning and arranging, and who knows what will come up. So there may not be an episode, but we'll hope to see you the following week. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all your awesome comments. Thank you for your thumbs up, and until next time, bye.